Like a lot of travel rewards hobbyists, both Carson and I have over 20 credit cards each. This is how we take advantage of insane deals on first and business class cabins, free airfare, hotels, basically how we travel the world for next to nothing. Now, if this sounds like a logistical nightmare keeping track of 20 fucking cards, you're not wrong, but there are some ways that we go about keeping it manageable. One of the easiest ways is to set all of the due dates, all the payment due dates to the same date. In my case, it's the 20th of the month. On the 20th of every month, I just go through all my different online portals and make sure that I make the payment in full. Usually it's the entire statement balance, so I don't pay interest. Don't fucking pay interest. It kills your travel benefits. In some cases, if I have a zero interest balance or offer, I might pay a little less, but usually it's the statement paid in full balance that I pay off on all my credit cards. So I do that all on the 20th of the month. It takes me 20 minutes max. Sometimes you have to call and get the payment date changed, but that's pretty easy to do with the number that's usually right on the back of your credit card. When it comes to managing the points themselves, there's a couple of websites, including points.com and awardwallet.com. They have free versions of their service that allow you to track the points. Unfortunately, with some of the points programs, the website doesn't have a deal with the points provider. For example, United Mileage Plus, Southwest Rapid Rewards, Delta Sky Miles don't do business or supply information directly to awardwallet.com. Chase Ultimate Rewards won't Chase Ultimate Rewards won't report to points.com. What fucking sentence? Jesus, that's a tongue twister. So those are big blind spots in those particular programs. But in the case of Award Wallet, which is what I use, you can either manually enter your points balance, or it takes a little bit of rigmarole. I might do a different video to show how, but you can set up statement reporting through a dedicated email to Award Wallet, so that instead of just drawing the information directly from United Mileage Plus, for example, United sends your statement directly to an email that passes through Award Wallet, and they gather the data from that. It's a little complicated. I honestly don't even use it that much, partially because I'm always using my United and Southwest miles, and because Delta miles don't expire. But other currencies, you can just include your username and password, just like you use to log in, and it will connect the data directly to the account. For example, British Airways, Alaska Airlines, IHG, Marriott Bonvoy, Chase Ultimate Rewards, Amex Membership Rewards, most of the major currencies, and it'll tell you a bunch of data, including when your miles expire, if they do expire, what the balance is, and if you have free night certificates that are about to expire, like you get from the credit cards from the Hyatt credit or the World of Hyatt credit card, IHG Premier, or any one of the myriad Marriott Bonvoy cards. So those are two tips, but I also recommend, whenever you apply for a credit card, keeping some calendar notations. You can do some of what I'm about to do using creditkarma.com, but if you're starting fresh, it's great to just have a fresh outlook on it. And this is how I mark my calendar, starting as soon as I apply for a new credit card. So we're in Apple Calendar. It used to be iCal, now it's Apple Calendar, and you're going to see why this is important. Everything that I do in Apple Calendar can be done in some version on Google Calendar or other popular calendar apps, but this is just the one that I use. So let's say that today I applied for a new credit card. Let's say it's the Chase Sapphire Preferred. So I'm going to want to, on this day, it's the 27th of May, I'm going to create a new event, applied for Chase Sapphire Preferred. Now, I'm going to want to know this application date because this helps me keep track of my 524 status with Chase. If you don't know what I'm talking about, make sure to check our video on the 524 rule. I'll link it all over the place on this fucking video, but basically, if I've applied for more than 5 credit cards from any issuer in the last 24 months, then Chase will automatically deny me for a new card. You can keep track of this again by looking at your accounts page on creditkarma.com, but creditkarma.com doesn't show you the credit card applications that you've been declined for, which is important to keep track of for your 524 status. And also this helps you keep track of when you got the hard pull on your credit. So you can look through your calendar and figure out 12 months from now, the points that I lost from my credit score for the hard pull are going to come off. I'm going to get a little boost on my credit, and I can time further credit applications around the time when I'm going to have that little boost. So I put in here, applied for Chase Sapphire Preferred. keyword tagging the hell out of these posts, and you're gonna see why later. If I got approved for it right away, if I applied and got an automatic decision of approval, I can actually do this a little differently, and I can put applied and approved for Chase Sapphire Preferred. But just for the sake of this example, I'm gonna pretend like I wasn't immediately approved. I got a screen that said we need more time to decide, and so I had to wait a little bit on my application. This is all hypothetical. So if a week later I received an email notice that said, congratulations, you were approved for the Chase Sapphire Preferred, then 1 week later down here, I would put approved for Chase Sapphire Preferred. Now, the date of approval is important to note for a couple of reasons, largely grouped around the fact that credit cards count the date of account opening as the date of approval. Now, this can be kind of fucking annoying because, as we all know, a lot of these credit cards provide lucrative sign-up bonuses for getting the credit card and making a certain amount of minimum spending in a set period of time. In the case of the Chase Sapphire Preferred, the current active sign-up bonus is 60,000 ultimate rewards points from Chase for making $4,000 of spending on the new card within the first 90 days from account opening. Those ultimate rewards points are worth up to $1,000 or more in travel rewards, so it's a very good sign-up bonus. The problem is, if the account opening starts when you are approved, you don't have the card yet. It spends some time getting processed and sent through the mail, and all the while that clock is ticking. So that's kind of annoying, but it's important to know. Also, the date of approval is important for knowing the account anniversary, which matters for a couple of reasons. First of all, the account anniversary is when your annual fee is assessed. And second of all, in the case of some cards, there are anniversary bonuses. For example, in the case of the Southwest Rapid Rewards Visa Signature, you get up to 6,000 bonus points just for free at the anniversary, which to me is worth more than the $95 annual fee, so I'll probably keep it forever. In the case of the United Mileage Plus Explorer, you get 2 new lounge passes. In the case of a lot of hotel cards like the IHG Premier Club card and the World of Hyatt card and all the Marriott Bonvoy cards, you get a free night certificate at your account anniversary. And what's more important, sometimes those free night certificates have a 1-year expiration date. Yeah, you get a new one at account anniversary, but if you don't use the old one, then it just goes away and you've just left money on the table. You might as well take a staycation and get a little bit of use out of that hotel credit card, have a little fun. So it's important to know the approved for date because of the account anniversary, and I also want to be reminded of the account anniversary every year. So here's another little thing that I do, and I'll show you a fun little trick. I'm going to add another event on the same day as my approval. Remember, this is approved for the Chase Sapphire Preferred. The time of day doesn't matter, but I'm going to add another event, account anniversary for Chase Sapphire Preferred. Now I'm going to do something extra. I'm going to set it to repeat every year. So every year on the 3rd of June, which is when, for the sake of this example, I said my approval was, every year on the 3rd of June, it's going to show me account anniversary for Chase Sapphire Preferred. And then if I want to clean up my desktop a little bit, I can do this. I can click delete on account anniversary, and it gives me the option delete only this event. So now this date looks a little bit clearer, but every year on June 3rd, it maintains that annual reminder of this is my account anniversary. And with regard to the fact that my annual fee is assessed on the account anniversary, I like to add myself a little extra reminder. Let's go back 1 week. 1 week from approval date. It doesn't matter that I applied here. What matters is the date of approval. If I was approved on the same day, I would go back 1 week from there to the 20th. But I'm going to add another calendar event. Consider canceling Chase Sapphire Preferred. And then I'm going to do the same thing, repeat every year. Now I'm going to delete what I just put in there, but only delete this event. Now what happens is that every year, 1 week before my account anniversary, it will give me a reminder that essentially my annual fee is coming due, and I might want to go back to my records and see how much value I've gotten out of the card and consider canceling it if it hasn't been a card that is worth hanging on to for a long period of time. I've canceled a number of cards in this respect because I collected sign-up bonuses and used it for a little while, but ultimately decided that it wasn't worth it for me, and I didn't want to pay the annual fee year after year. A lot of the cards that I hold long-term are no annual fee cards, which sometimes I get benefits out of, sometimes I do spending on, and sometimes I just keep open and spend on them every now and then to keep the account active, and having them for a long time improves my credit because length of credit history is a key factor for determining credit scores. Check out some of our other videos on how credit scores are determined to learn more about that. So I've put some dates here that remind me when I applied, when I got approved, when my account anniversary is coming up, and a little extra reminder to consider canceling it so I don't continue paying the annual fee. In the case of Chase Sapphire Preferred, it's a $95 annual fee. If I cancel it before then, it might make a difference. Some credit cards prorate your annual fee if you cancel it, so you get a little money back, but others don't. It's just a flat, if you cross this date, you get the fee. So this just helps me keep track of that. Now, one other important thing that I want to keep track of is that aforementioned sign-up bonus. You don't want to miss the sign-up bonuses. A big part of how we build up our point balances so quickly and are able to afford premium redemptions in first class or business class, or just so many fucking flights where we travel multiple times a year for nothing out of pocket or $5 out of pocket. These big sign-up bonuses are a big part of it. Like I said, the Sapphire Preferred has a 60,000 point sign-up bonus. If you stack that with the Ink Preferred, Ink Unlimited, and Ink Cash cards, you could get another 180,000 Chase Ultimate Rewards points. And you could do something similar with Amex membership rewards. But it's all for naught if you miss the sign-up bonus. You don't want to have spent less than $4,000 within that 90-day window, in the case of the Chase Sapphire Preferred, and then miss out on the sign-up bonus. You'll be shit out of luck. I almost missed my sign-up bonus on the Chase Ink Preferred, but I just made it. I was trying to keep it just business expenses, and it was a fucking squeaker, but I got those 80,000 points. Other cards, it's a 30-day spending window. In some cases, there's 60 or even 1 year spending windows, but let's just keep it simple and use the example of the 90-day sign-up bonus window, which is the most common. Massage this a little bit for different card programs, but here I've got my approved for date. I don't have the card yet, but the clock is ticking. So I'm going to change this to the year view because it's a little easier, and then I'm going to count 90 days, or I'm not going to make this an extra long video. I'm going to kind of estimate. This might be a little inaccurate, so sorry. But let's say, so my approved for date was June the 3rd. Here's the approved. And then I'm going to roughly count out 30 days, 60 days, 90 days. Let's say it's September the 3rd. It's probably a little different because months are not uniformly 30 days. You might have to count back a few days. Just do the actual counting of 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 14, 21, 28. My 7 times tables aren't good past 70 days, but make it 90 days. And I'm going to put, let's say this is the 90-day mark, September the 2nd. Give me the month view. September 2nd, I'm going to add a new event. End of sign up bonus period for Chase Sapphire Preferred. And then I'm going to give myself some extra insurance, and again, I'm going to give myself a 1 week before reminder. We don't have to repeat this. These sign-up bonuses are one time only per card account, so no repeating event. But here I'm going to put last week for Chase Sapphire Preferred sign up bonus. So now once this notification comes up, I can look at my account and see if I'm coming up short. And if I'm coming up a lot short on that $4,000 minimum spending, I can use some of the tactics that Carson outlines in his video on how to make the minimum spending without changing your spending habits. Remember, you don't want to become an overspender just to get these sign up bonuses. It's a great return on your money, but if you're spending an extra $1,000 a month to get it, it's only worth $1,000 to begin with, so you've kind of made it a wash, and it can actually get a lot worse, and you could end up not being able to pay it off and paying interest. And again, don't ever pay fucking interest. Pay your statement balance at least in full every month on these high interest cards, or else it's not worth it. The travel rewards will be canceled out by the interest. Can't hammer that fucking point enough. Don't pay interest. So the credit cards are getting enough money from you from sign-up bonuses and swipe charges. So I've put a lot of stuff on this calendar, and there was a reason why I put Chase Sapphire Preferred on everything that I noted. Make sure it's spelled correctly, but once that happens, I want to point out that Apple Calendar has this little search function, this little search window. So let's click Sapphire in here. And here we have a list of everything I just put in the calendar about the Chase Sapphire Preferred. So if I'm like, shit, when's my sign-up bonus? I can just go to my calendar, click Sapphire, and then find here, just on this side notation, this column, end of sign-up bonus period, Monday, September 2nd. And then I can look at my calendar and be like, all right, this is a ways away, I'm on track, or I might know that I have some big expense coming up and I want to make sure that I get it in under the wire if it was a part of my strategy for getting that sign-up bonus. So the fact that these keywords are searchable within the events you created is a big advantage to keeping this all clear in your head. You can do this as soon as you get your credit cards or as soon as you're approved for your credit cards. Start marking this calendar. It takes about 10 minutes. This video only pushed 15 minutes because I was kind of explaining every step of the way. I can really dash these in there pretty fast. And you will too once you get into this fucking hobby, because we didn't get into this hobby to learn to be expert calendar managers. We got into this hobby to fucking fly. So let's get it done.